Well, good morning and welcome in, everybody. Marc Farzetta with you here on the Farzy Show at the Steven Singer Studios. I am happy to announce that today we return to a happy Hugh's Day morning as Hugh Lamont Douglas III will join us coming up in a couple of minutes. We talked for an extended period of time about Ben Simmons, about the athlete's mentality. We talked a lot about what the city of Philadelphia or any city owes their athlete and what the athlete owes the city. If it's anything, fan interaction we talked about, insults, rolling with the punches, whatever it might be. We covered the whole gambit when it came to this conversation this week with Hugh Douglas, so don't miss that coming up in just a couple of minutes. We also have a very special Farzy in the field for you. I'm on roller skates, people. That's what I did. Went out on roller skates at the Rothman Roller Rink in Center City, Philadelphia, Dilworth Plaza, right there at City Hall, for those not familiar. It was great. I had so much fun meeting all these people, interviewing them about a very simple question. The simple question that we ask ourselves a lot. Of all our teams here in Philadelphia, who's the closest to winning a championship? Some answers you would expect and some answers that you definitely would not expect because it's one sport that I wasn't even aware of that was taking place in Philadelphia. And, it's shame on me for that, but it's taking place in Philadelphia. So we got that coming up. Let's jump into this little conversation, this little nugget of information. Yesterday rather, the 76ers appointed their replacement for Scott O'Neal. Look, I don't know why Scott O'Neal left. I don't know why he stepped down. I know the releases get made or put out, and we look at it and we go, okay, well, that guy is going on to other things. When another hire happens this quickly, especially with one as close ties to somebody already with the organization, it kind of makes you wonder whether or not somebody was asked to step aside or not. And with the announcement of Thaddeus, he doesn't go by Thaddeus, he goes by Tad. Thaddeus Tad Brown is our new CEO for not only the 76ers, but obviously also the New Jersey Devils. And yes, I'm allowed to hate the fact that those jobs are linked because I do hate the fact that those jobs are linked. But with the Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment, that's the way the world turns nowadays. So our new president, or CEO, if you will, of the 76ers, is also the president and CEO of the that other team, that New Jersey Devils team. But that's where we're at. Now, who does he have ties to in the organization? For those that haven't seen it yet, Adrian Wojnarowski put it out there yesterday, saying that he has 15 years in the Houston Rockets organization, where, of course, he worked with Daryl Morey and also Sam Hinkie. Go figure. So now you have, if there's any doubt, any question of how much pull, how much sway, how much power a guy like Daryl Morey has in the Sixers organization, look no further than they pretty much hired his guy out of Houston. That's where we're at right now in Philadelphia. And here's what I'll tell you. Okay, I'm fine with it. I can't tell you exactly what Scott O'Neal had his fingerprints on when it came to the organization. I think he's associated to the season ticket planning that I ripped just a couple of days ago when it came to the way the Sixers gouged the fans after the process was kind of over, after the intentional losing, I'll put it that way, was over by the organization. And they came out with that really weird season ticket pricing for people that want to get on the waiting list for free, and then to pay to be on the waiting list, and to pay more to be on another waiting list. It was odd. So obviously Scott O'Neal no longer here, and now you have Tad Brown running the organization, a big tie to Daryl Morey. So that's what we got as far as the basketball world goes, and as far as the 76ers. We got a new CEO in town, folks. So let's see how this goes. As far as the rest of the basketball world, in case you didn't see this yesterday, this has never happened before. Something happened yesterday that's never happened before. The United States, since using professional athletes in the sport of basketball in the Olympics, lost back-to-back games. First, they lost to Nigeria, and then yesterday they lost to the Matisse Thybulle-led Australian national team. That happened yesterday. Matisse Thybulle looked great. Our boy looked great out there, blocking shots left and right, hitting threes, making highlight reels. And I was scrolling through my different social media accounts, and I saw it was on Instagram, it was on Twitter, and I just thought, I was like, oh, these are the fan sites of Philadelphia. This is I'm looking at this on the Sixers page. I'm looking at this on some other Sixers Nation page, whatever. And no, it was the NBA. It was ESPN tweeting this stuff out going, man, Matisse Thybulle looks great. And I'm thinking, yeah, national media, pour on the love for our boy. So we got to, hopefully Pop can figure it out when it comes to Team USA. If I have said many times, I've got in recent years, I've had a very big love-hate relationship with the sport of baseball. Shohei Ohtani is really keeping me dialed in to this baseball season. No matter what happens with the Phillies, I'm always checking. If I am waking up early to check box scores of the Angels, and it's got nothing to do with Mike Trout, congratulations, Shohei Ohtani. You've kept my attention. He has been absolutely spectacular. I know our friend of the show, Ben Verlander, has been absolutely adoring everything Shohei Ohtani has done so far this season. And last night during the Home Run Derby, which was later won by Pete Alonso of the Mets, my fellow fan in the show Meat Eater, Pete Alonso wins. But in the first round, you have Soto of the Nationals, and then you have Ohtani of the Angels. In the first round, these guys were going at it. In the first round, they needed double overtime to decide who was going to advance. And I got to tell you, I love this version of the Home Run Derby. It is nonstop. It is commercial free. You get a timeout, but you don't have that standing out of the batter's box for an hour waiting. All right, when's he going to get back in there? All right, come on. You don't have that anymore. It's just bang, 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 home run after home run after home run. Ohtani announced his presence with authority in batting practice before the Home Run Derby, where he almost put one out of the stadium at Coors Field. I remember being a kid and watching Mark McGwire at the Home Run Derby in Colorado, 20 years ago? And I remember thinking, wow, somebody in that environment in Colorado could put one out of the stadium. Ohtani almost did last night. Unreal. And then he goes into this first round battle with Soto, and it was incredible. Home run after home run, and they had to go to this three swing playoff, which meant they got three swings, and that was it. And if they hit a home run, they did. If they didn't, they didn't. But if Soto hit three home runs with his three swings, Ohtani grounded. It would have been a ground out to first, basically, in his first swing. So he was done. But that was beyond exciting. That was great. And it's not often that we see something in Major League Baseball, especially, let alone all sports. But it's not. It's very rare that we'll see something in Major League Baseball and go, "Hey, great idea, guys! Way to go!" I think, no pun intended, they crushed this Home Run Derby. And last night was spectacular. Pete Alonso came down to a great story with Trey Mancini coming back as well. I loved what I saw from the All-Star game, from the Home Run Derby last night. So look forward to talking about the actual All-Star game tomorrow. Max Scherzer will now get the start for the National League. So we'll see how all that pans out. I do want to make sure we get to a couple other things in the world of Major League Baseball. One was the Phillies draft picks. Top two picks for them at 13 overall. They took Andrew Painter, a right-handed pitcher out of Calvary Christian. That is a 6'7", 18-year-old that is going to be joining the Phillies pitching staff. High 90s fastball, high school kid, so it'll be a minute. All right, it's not going to be an Aaron Nola where we blink and all of a sudden he's at the major league level, but it's going to be a minute. And this is after they took the kid last year, Mick Abel, and he's 6'1", another power pitcher. So we'll see what this Phillies, or should be 6'5", and we'll see what this Phillies team does in the upcoming years when it comes to their rotation. But obviously, it's a long ways away. But as far as Painter goes, their 13th overall pick. Here's the interesting tie-in. He played high school baseball with Joe Girardi's son, Dante. Interesting little nugget there. I don't think, look, if Joe Girardi is helping make the pick, which I don't really think he is, or he would on a normal basis. But if you're Dave Dombrowski and you go up to your manager and say, hey, by the way, we like this kid that is playing with your son. What do you think of him? And he goes, oh, yeah, I like him. And that's it. Then fine. But if it's Joe Girardi banging the drum to take this guy that his son played with, I find that very interesting for a manager who is only in the second season of his managerial career with the Phillies. That means if you're investing in a 13th overall draft pick because of the manager who's only in his second season, that means you plan on him being around for a while. This is an interesting little nugget. But that's what you got right there. So interesting thing they got going on. Who else did they take? Ethan Wilson was their second-round pick, an outfielder that projects to be a power-hitting corner outfielder. So we'll see where that goes. Ethan Wilson is that gentleman's name. Let me tell you right now about another gentleman, my good friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. For all the big purchases in your life, ladies and gentlemen, you got to go see my friend at Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right in Philadelphia. Or simply check them out on the web at IHateStevenSinger.com. All the great stuff, all the big purchases, the diamonds, the beautiful gifts, go to Steven Singer Jewelers. Steven, you know what he does? He takes all the pressure out of getting engaged when you really think about it, because you meet someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with. That's almost the easy part compared to going out there and saying, oh, man, how am I going to haggle for a ring? How am I going to try to get the price down? You don't got to worry about that at Steven Singer or Steven Singer Jewelers, because every day, all the inventory is set at the perfect price. So when you walk in, you know you're getting taken care of. You're getting the same deal as the person next to you. That's the way it works. No better way to buy a diamond ring. No better way to buy an engagement ring, specifically, than Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. That's what I do. I send all my friends, all my family to Steven Singer. Another friend just went there yesterday, as a matter of fact. Didn't even tell me they were going. Just texted me a picture while they were there. And that's what you got. It is a remarkable place. All the amazing jewelers, all the amazing real jewelry experts will walk you through everything. And they'll show you, walk you through everything, show you what you want to look at, help you with your decision. And they have Ready for Love diamond engagement rings as well. Because if the mood hits, you want to get engaged, guess what? They're ready to go for you. It's just that spectacular. I told you before in my story, I walked in 2 hours. Hey, I need a ring. From like walking into the store to leaving with the ring in my pocket, 2 hours. And I was engaged 48 hours later. That's how that worked. So you can be just taken care of like I was at Steven Singer Jewelers. The other corner of 8th and Walnut, right in Philadelphia, are always fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. All right, on today's show, like I mentioned, we got Hugh Lamont Douglas III on this fine Tuesday, and then we also have a little Farzy in the field for you later on. But without further ado, let's talk to our good friend, Hugh Douglas. Joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line, our good friend off from his 4th of July holiday. Now he's back, Mr. Hugh Lamont Douglas III on this fine Tuesday. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing, man?
I've missed you. It's been a week, but I've 2 weeks.
I was thinking it, but I wasn't going to say it. Because it was just kind of, it was kind of weird. But, it ain't like we ain't done weird stuff before. That sounded even worse than what you just said.
That sounded so much worse.
It was like, people did weird stuff before. Everybody's like, what do you mean?
What the hell?
No, wing bowl stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Wing bowl.
Of course. I'm crying already. Hugh, it's good to see you again, buddy. How was your 4th of July?
It was cool, man. I just relaxed. My daughter was in town.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, my daughter, Brianna, she came to town. She played a little tennis. And, it's funny, man. Like, as you get older, most people, they become empty nesters for whatever reason. My kids want to come back. Like they want to come and live with me. And my daughter was like, hey, Dad, so when are you moving? If you need some help, I'll be more than happy to help you because I'm thinking about moving down. And I'm like, not what I was trying to do. But, I mean, it's fine. When you'll get this when you get older, like especially your baby girl, when they want to come home, man. You're not going to tell them no.
Of course not.
So you accommodate, you make room. And, for a week, Mark, she was here. I had hair care products all over the place. I tell you the one plus, the refrigerator was full of food because she liked to eat, and I didn't have that when she wasn't here. So I got a little accustomed to that. And, just asking me, where are you going? Like, where are you going? Like, I want to try to move around a little bit. So where are you going? I'm like, wait a minute. You're not my mom.
So where are you going? How late are you going to be? When are you coming home?
Looking at the car, talking about, where are you going? I'm like, hey, I'm going to the store. I'll come with you. And I was like, damn, that's not where I was going, but that's what I told her. So yeah. For that.
Oh, well, congratulations on readopting your daughter.
My child. I'm being, yeah. I'm not an empty nester anymore, so I gotta go ahead and do something about that.
Oh man. Hey, I do have to ask you, not just your kids, but how is the rest of Atlanta with Acuna being out for the rest of the year? How's everybody holding up down there?
Man, we were talking about that yesterday, and we were talking about how what is Atlanta going to do now? You know, this is a weird spot to be in. You look at the division, the NL East, they're fourth. I mean, they're 4 games out of first place. 4 games, Mark. So it's one of those things where, like, the biggest knock here in Atlanta is Liberty Media. Liberty Media, for the most part, people feel like they're a conglomerate that owns the Braves. They don't really want to spend any money. So that's the biggest gripe down here.
Gotcha.
Is Liberty Media going to do what they have to do to keep the Braves competitive? And you know what the weird part about all of this is? Is you look at the Mets and the injuries that they have, and look where they are right now. I mean, and look how they're playing. Yeah, and look how they're playing. And they've been decimated with injuries. So it's a weird spot to be in. Freddie Freeman doesn't have a contract, so everybody's just trying to figure out what are the Braves going to do. And unfortunately for us, we got to wait a little while because the All-Star game is upon us. So we're getting ready to do that.
Yeah, Phillies right now 3.5 games out of first place. Braves 4 games out of first place. Phillies, surprisingly, all of a sudden one of the hottest teams in baseball, at least the National League. The Phillies have won 7 out of the last 10, and the Reds have won 8 of their last 10, and that's the only record better than the Phillies over the last 10 games. So all of a sudden, we have ourselves a divisional race here for after the All-Star break.
You know what's funny? And I said this at the beginning of the year. You know, I'm not the baseball guy on our show in the morning here in Atlanta, 92-90 game. But shameless plug. I asked my co-host, how many games do you think it's going to take to win the division? And I said with the division being as tight as it is, it wouldn't be far-fetched to say, what, 80 games? 80? And they were like, oh, you're kidding. It has to be at least 90 games. You know, dude. You know somebody who's patting himself on the back right now because it looked like that would be me. It's just a strange year. You look at all the injuries and everything, Mark, that we just talked about. It's just a strange year for the NL East. It's a strange year for baseball. Look at the stretch that the Dodgers had when they were playing. They were getting their back beat in. So it's just a strange year. It's a real strange year.
No, certainly. Yeah, it looks like right now you could be looking at like an 85-win team, maybe win the division. It's quite possible right now. So was everybody depressed when they saw Acuna go down? I mean, obviously people are probably upset, but I know that. Towards ACL, done for the year. But is it who steps up in the next spot? Do you have any idea who would be getting his reps?
No clue. I know that they were talking about you just made me have a brain fart. I can't think of his name right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. Played third base. Was there before Austin Riley. I can't think of his name. Can't think of his name right now.
All right, well,
I'm calling him back up. They're thinking about calling him back up.
I thought it was somebody from the minors. All right.
It is from the minors. I can't think of his, and that's gonna bother me that I can't remember his name right now. But yeah, that's what they're thinking about doing. It's one of those things. But you're gonna have to go out and you're gonna have to probably rent a player. You're probably gonna have to rent a player. Ender in CRT? No, not Ender. No, it wasn't Ender. I forgot.
Ender's a veteran. He was actually drafted by the Phillies in the Rule 5 draft. Yeah.
It's not Ender. Oh, Mark, it's going to bother me so this is going to bother me so bad.
Don't you worry. You and I will put our heads together at the end of this interview and we'll figure out who it is. But I do want to ask you this because this is more pressing to Philadelphia right now. I don't know if you saw the comments made by Danny Green to our friend John Clark of NBC Sports Philadelphia. Danny Green talked about how Philadelphia fans need to have undying support, constant support of Ben Simmons as he tries to hit free throws, improve his game, and how we can't turn on our own players. I think Philadelphia's been pretty supportive of Ben Simmons. I think Philadelphia's been extremely supportive of the 76ers going through the whole process era, going through the burner gate with Brian Colangelo. I feel like Philly's been loyal. But anyway, let me ask you this question. As somebody who played in this city and as someone who's very familiar with the city of Philadelphia, Hugh, what do you expect from fans of Philadelphia? And do you think fans are too hard on players? What do you make of the Philadelphia fan?
Johan Camargo. That's his name. I'm sorry. Hey, as a host of a radio show, You know, when those names get stuck, you have to remember. Mark couldn't think of his name.
Very nice.
But anyway, yeah, I had to Google it. You know, Google's a beautiful thing. As far as supporting Ben Simmons, I see this is where I'm going to get a little deep on you, so just follow me a little bit. This is where I think Philadelphia gets a bad rap because everybody is critical of all professional athletes because they make a ton of money. It's a part of the game. And I think the thing that has changed over the last 10 to 15 years is people are starting to be more aware of mental illness, you know, and not trying to get too deep, you know, but I think it kind of ties in because people feel like for whatever reason that when you make a certain amount of money, you're supposed to be bulletproof and you're not supposed to be criticized. You're supposed to be treated like everybody else. It don't work like that. It doesn't. Because from a fan's perspective, Mark, they're paying a ton of money to watch you go out there and play a game that you grew up playing your whole life that you love. So in their eyes, they're still looking at it like, say you're looking at T-ball. When you see the kids playing T-ball and they're out there running around having fun, we haven't separated the two. It's still a game. It's still a game. So with that being said, people are looking at it and they're thinking, oh, well, hell, you've been doing it your whole life. Why is it so hard now? Why is it so much more pressure now? And all this other stuff. So to answer your question in short term, I think that everybody's critical of everybody. And it should, and that's just the way it is when it comes to sports. Because at the end of the day, we are playing a sport that we grew up playing and people just don't look at it as a real job. They don't look at it as the same pressure of working a real 9 to 5. It's just looked at it. It's never looked at it that way. Nobody.
Do you think that we're just overall too hard on our athletes, that we expect too much from our athletes? Why does there always seem to be a disconnect that comes up between fans and athletes in this city?
Because because people feel like you've been playing this game your whole life, so it should come easy to you. Mm-hmm. It's not. Like Mark, I can sit here and try to explain to you how tough it is to be a professional athlete, how tough it is to go out there and play under pain and go out there and try to play at a high level every Sunday and muster up that love every Sunday. But if you're not in it, it's nothing that I can say to you that could get you to relate to that unless you've been through it.
Right.
It's tough. It's tough. I remember playing in games, Mark. I remember playing in back-to-back games in the division at the vet and like, man, where am I going to find the strength? On a Monday, I'm thinking to myself like, shit, excuse my French, but I'm like, how am I going to get up to play on a Thursday night after we just had a war with the Washington Redskins, and my body is bruised. And so now you're talking about, okay, we played Sunday. I got Monday to recover. Tuesday, I'm getting ready to go to practice, some kind of practice. My body is hurting. And people don't understand that. They only see, like what they say, don't tell me about I want to hear about the labor pains. Show me the baby. Show me the baby.
Right.
Don't nobody care about the labor pains.
Right.
Don't nobody care about mom and all the pressure she went through to have that baby and the epidural she had in her back and the fact that her vagina, they got spread to all God, whatever, and she had this baby. They just want to see the cute little bundle of joy. They don't want to know about her wearing the diaper, her pooping on herself, her got to get not to be graphic, but I'm just telling you that nobody wants to know about all that. They just want to see the cute little baby.
Right.
They come in the delivery room. They just see the cute little bundle of joy. Mom over there, her hair look all crazy. Still makeup. She go try to make herself look presentable. Don't nobody care about all that. They just want to see the baby.
Right.
Same thing with sports. Don't nobody want to care about whatever Ben Simmons is going through in his personal life. Don't nobody want to care about the fact that he might have some mental issues or whatever. They just want to see the baby. They just want to see the results. And it's like this. When you're a professional athlete and you decide to become one and you're playing at a high level, you have to be groomed to kind of throw that stuff to the side, like your personal stuff. Don't nobody care about that. Don't nobody care that your wife cheating on you, anything like that. Go out there and get a tackle. Go out there and make a sack. Go out there and score a touchdown. Like nobody cares about your mental health.
Right.
Nobody. And it's hard to relate because to a lot of people, you're like, oh man, you're making millions of dollars. What could possibly be wrong with you? You don't have a care in the world. Hell, I'm over here busting my butt paying these bills, trying to make ends meet. You got ends meet like a mofo. So what problem do you have? Go out there and make a basket. See, nobody, that's why I'm saying it all, like that's where the mental health ties in, because he could be going through something like that's personal, that is way beyond basketball. So, but as a fan, I don't expect people to know that. Just like I don't expect people to know the real me. They only see certain parts of me that I allow them to see. Just like you, there's only parts of you that you allow people to see. Everybody doesn't know like the Marc Farzetta that his wife knows. You know what I mean? And they're not supposed to. So I don't think that Philadelphia fans are any harder than fans in Wyoming of the Wyoming steer herders or whatever team they got out there, or the fans in China that watch soccer. I don't think it's any different. It's the same. It's all the same.
Or the Guangzhou Long Lions.
Yeah, it's just Philadelphia just gets a bad rap, man, and I hate that. Right. I have to. Do you know how many times I have to bite my tongue when people talk about Philadelphia like it's just this old dirtbag ass city, and because I don't want to be in my feelings. I don't want to be accused of being my feelings or being a homer, even though I'm from Ohio. But it's the same thing. People that talk bad about Philadelphia probably been to Philadelphia one time, and they went during a sporting event, and they did something that got their face pushed in for whatever reason. But because that happened at a sporting event, they automatically assume that the whole city's like that. Now, to that point, I went a few years ago when the Eagles played the Falcons up there at the Lincoln Financial. I went with some Falcons fans, and they sat in an Eagles section with their Falcons gear on. And guess what happened?
Bad things.
Nothing.
Thank God. No trash talk, no nothing?
No, they sat there with Eagle fans, and they had a great time. You know, I sat there with them. I came through, and everybody, man, they had a ball. And to this day, they talk about that experience that they had in Philadelphia. But you don't hear about that. You don't hear about that. And they were just sitting there. They didn't say a whole lot. They're sitting there in a section full of Eagle fans. Eagle fan. I don't know if it was because it was the first game of the season. I don't know. But Eagle fans were just as nice, and nobody acted a donkey or nothing like that. Everybody was just chilling.
I just referenced this game the other day because it was the first game after the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and they put the banner down, and Eagles fans booed the Eagles going into halftime because they were playing so terrible. But okay, so let me rephrase the question. Let me ask you this in this way then, my friend. We agree that Philadelphia, though, isn't for everybody.
It's not.
So in that regard, we are different than most other cities, I feel.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay. What makes us different? What do you think makes a Philadelphia fan different in how they relate to their player and how the player receives the Philadelphia fan?
Passion. That's how I look at it, Mark. I remember my first time in Philadelphia when I coming through the airport when I got traded. And I'd never forget the story, the flight, not the flight attendant, but the bad guy. Remember when he used to have bad guys down there? And he said, hey, whatever you do, beat the Cowboys. I had just come from a city where in New York, like I could walk around the city of New York, nobody knew who I was. Nobody cared to know. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, some big black guy walking through the airport, you know, whatever. Some big black guy somewhere, you know, whatever. Because there were so many celebrities, so many different people in New York City. So nobody, like you had to say, hey, you know who I am? I'm Hugh Douglas. Who is that? You know what I'm saying? In New York.
Right.
Philadelphia, I think it's because you have so many people that grew up Eagles fans. Like their parents were Eagles fans. Their parents were Eagles fans. I remember hearing stories, Mark, where people were telling me about how they've had season tickets in their family for generations, for 50 years. I mean, that's the difference.
Right.
I mean, when you talk about You talk about, say, like a Kansas City. You talk about a Chicago. You talk about Green Bay. There are certain cities that NFL football is ingrained in that city. Philadelphia just happens to be one of those cities. Philadelphia just happens to be a city where it's a 4 for 4. You got the Phillies that people that have been season ticket holders. You got some families that have been 25 years season ticket holders to all 4. You know what I mean? It's different. Like, say, for instance, down here in Atlanta, Atlanta has some great fans. But I would think that, you know, when you talk about fan for fan, how many people have been season ticket holders for the Atlanta Falcons for 20 years compared to the Eagles ticket holders for 20 years, you probably have way more Philadelphia Eagles season ticket holders. So it's just different. You grew up like this is the thing. Like, I'm from Ohio, Mansfield, Ohio. I don't know if you ever heard of the Massillon Tigers, but back in the day, Massillon Tigers was a team where every little boy that was born, the story was they got a football. They got a Massillon Tiger football because that was the tradition in Ohio.
Like at the hospital?
Yes, at the hospital. It's kind of the same thing in Philadelphia. You grow up, you are born in Philadelphia, you're born into Eagledom. Like that is your birthright. That is inherent. That's how I interpret it. That's your birthright. That's kind of like what it is. You know, that's how it goes. If you're not an Eagles fan, then I don't know what to tell you. You grew up an Eagles fan. Like, I've seen pictures of people that when their kids are born, they slap an Eagles onesie on them right away. You're an Eagles fan. Boom. This is what you are. Regardless, win, lose, or draw, you're an Eagles fan. Let
me ask you this then. Just one more thing about the fans here. Phillies pitcher Vince Velasquez was getting on the team bus the other day in Boston. I don't know if you saw this, but one of the reporters, I think his name was Matt Rappa, he was sent a video of Vince Velasquez interacting with some of the fans. I'll show you the 2 videos that he posted. One is real quick where you can hear a fan yell, "Learn how to pitch." And then I'll play for you Vince Velasquez's response. There's a lot of missing material here, but it's the only video we have. Apparently the fan also called Vince Velasquez pathetic. Here's the first video. Take a look at this.
Hey, learn how to pitch.
All right, did you catch that? Learn how to pitch at the end there. I'll hit it.
Hey, learn how to pitch.
Vince Velasquez has headphones on and everything. Now look at the second part. Here's him responding.
Huh? Exactly. Shut up. I want to see your fat ass going to That's right.
That's what I said to him.
You guys recording? Oh, that's so nice.
See, this is the thing, man. And because even I am a victim of this sometimes. Sometimes you have to take the high road because nothing is gained from arguing with a fan that does not understand what you're going through. Fans are fans, and fans are going to say what they say. So, and I'm saying this as a almost 50-year-old Hugh Douglas, as opposed to, say, a 20-something-year-old Hugh Douglas that would be growing up in this era. Because let's be honest, Mark, people like nowadays, people have more access to celebrity than they've ever had before. So it's different. You're allowed to say more than you've probably said before. You know, and to some people, they get off on that. They get off on being the guy that is, you know, taking barbs at him or anybody else. And when they respond to that person, it's like they won something. It's like a badge on. Hey, I got so-and-so to block me on Twitter, or hey, I got so-and-so to call me a dick or something like that. I really got under his skin. You know, what is the phrase now? I'm written space in his head. People get off on that. Because,
rent free.
Yeah, because in some small way that adheres them to that player or that makes them feel that much better about themselves. And I'm not taking a shot at anybody because everybody does it. Everybody does it. I think as a player, you have to understand that there's a lot that person does not understand about what you do. And, you know, at the same time, you can't give them the pleasure knowing that they get under your skin. My cousin told me something a long time ago. To anger you is to conquer you. To anger you is to conquer you. So just don't give him the pleasure, because it's like there's no way that whoever said that about him learn how to pitch could do what he does.
Of course not.
He'd be doing it. So you just take pleasure in that, man. It's just we live in a strange time, Mark, and like athletes now are getting in tune with their sensitive side a little bit more, for lack of a better way of saying it, because now it's not so much about just shut up and play. It's not about shut up and play. It's about, hey man, I'm a real person. I'm just not this person that just goes out and shoots a basketball. I have a family. I have different interests. I have different passions and things of that nature. So it's different now. So athletes are expressing themselves way more than they ever did when I played. So it's just a different era. Everybody's changing. So it's a little different now. So athletes, for lack of a better way of saying it, Mark, athletes have gotten in touch with their sensitive side. So they're going to probably be a little bit more sensitive. So it's not going to be the back in the day when you hear people always say, well, Michael Jordan, he would have played hurt or da-da-da-da-da. Dog, it ain't like that no more.
Right.
It's not. Athletes have different venues and avenues that they want to pursue now. I was talking to a friend of mine whose son is getting going into his senior in college. He's playing football. And you know what this young man said to me? Which I thought was pretty interesting, Mark. He said, I want to play 2 years in the NFL so that I can get enough money to do something else. And I was like, that blew my mind. Because when I was growing up, going to the NFL was the plan.
Yeah, right.
Plan. That was the plan. And you didn't look at anything after that. These kids are looking for seed money. Something else. Like it's just this. Is this person?
Do they have a legit chance of playing in the NFL?
I don't know. They play at an SEC school. So you know how that goes. But it was just, Mark, 2 years, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, cats play like you get vested after 4 in the NFL. You get vested, you get a 401k, all of that. He said 2 years. Didn't care what position he was drafted in. He just needed the seed money. Because, I'm going to use the NFL to get me where I really want to be.
Right.
And I was just like, I said, well, hey, that's a plan, but always have a plan B.
Well, I'll say this. If you're a star football player and you have a chance of making some money in the NFL, that seems to be the idea more so than ever. I mean, Calvin Johnson retiring at, 30?
Yeah.
All these guys retiring early to go on to other things. Namdi Asamoah, I know his name's Mud in Philadelphia, but he just made a movie not too long ago.
And could act. He could act like Mark. He can act. He took acting classes, and I didn't see the movie. I saw snippets because I refuse to watch a love story. That's not my genre. I'm not gonna do that.
Gotcha.
But he can act. I was pleasantly surprised.
All right.
So he did a Broadway play. So yeah, like guys have other passions.
I didn't realize he made a Broadway play.
Yeah.
But I would imagine this kid that you're talking about has to be an upper echelon draft pick if it's only 2 years. Unless, you still get paid whatever the league minimum is now. What is it, like 400,000? What's the league minimum?
Hey, maybe that's all he needs, Mark. Maybe he's going to open a Rita's. Maybe he's going to open a Rita's Water Ice. Seriously, maybe he just needs the seed money to do that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, like these kids nowadays, man, think about it. Like you got guys that retire from the NFL young, still can play, and go to work in Fortune 500 companies. And they have that NFL background because people, they still gravitate towards athletes.
Right.
But they have deeper passions than just playing football. So yeah, I mean, it's a different time that we live in, man. It's not that hard-nosed, I want to be a Hall of Fame quarterback or I want to be a Hall of Fame defensive lineman. I'm going to play until my legs fall off type deal. It's not like that anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's not like, I'm going to take all the criticism that fans give me and da-da-da-da-da. Cats are asking questions like, why don't people love me like that? I mean, I'm out here busting my butt. Like they're asking those questions now.
Rub your money on your wound. You'll be fine.
Like, I'm not saying Ben Simmons is like that, but I feel like when you talk about like what he has been in this finals, well, what he was when he played the Hawks. Yeah. I was like, dude, something, it might be a little deeper. But he went out on a date with somebody, didn't he? He was out there.
Yeah, they went to Wimbledon.
Yeah, so he must not be that distraught. You just never know, man. These kids are different. They're built different.
Right. Hugh Lamont Douglas III, always a pleasure catching up with you, my friend. We'll talk to you again next week. Thanks for jumping on with us. And yes, I'll say it again. I missed you.
I missed you too, man.
Thank you. That's less weird than what you said earlier.
Yeah, it was weird at the beginning. Yeah.
Joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line, our good friend Hugh Lamont Douglas III on this fine Hughes Day. Thanks, brother.
Peace.
Always great catching up with Hugh and following the chat while that conversation was going on. I'll just say this. The chat is all over the place today in terms of getting me in the feels, people. So we'll get to that in just a second. But that was just amazing to me. As far as an athlete looking at the NFL as a base, basically. I think the way I looked at it as a kid for guys like this, and even now, there are people that love playing, and then there's people that love what playing brings them. And the best example of this, I think, is the guy that just happens to be really, 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 really freakishly tall. And the next thing you know, they're getting recruited by a college coach. Say, "Oh, I can work with this guy. This guy's a project. I put a couple of years into this guy. Next thing I know, I'm going to have a 20-point score, 15 rebound a game type of guy. Just wait till I have 5 block shots. Just wait till I get done with this guy." And that's how they'll approach it. And that person might be like, "Well, I don't really like basketball, but I'm tall. I'm freakishly tall, and I can make a lot of money." Oh, okay. They like what basketball brings them. They don't like basketball. They love what basketball brings them. They don't love basketball. And now Hugh's talking about that with football players. And I don't blame him. I mean, obviously, we know how rough a sport it is. We know the toll it can take on your brain now and all that. So I understand why some younger people would look at it and say, all right, if I can just be a 3rd-round pick, let's say, a 4th-round pick, and I get into the NFL, and I just get a couple of years out of it, and I make, let's say, a little over $1 million, maybe $2 million, hey, that's not a bad way to start out a career. That's not a bad way to start out your professional world. I mean, good on you for it. Will we like that as as fans? Absolutely not, because we want somebody that loves the game, not what the game brings them. But it's interesting that there is somebody like that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people like that have that type of foresight to say, well, look, I know I'm not going to have a 10-year career or a 15-year career. I know I'm not going to be one of the best ever to play the game. So why don't I just try to get out what I can from this sport? And that's probably a lot of people's mindset. I'm sure a lot of people would love to make $1 million or $2 to start out their NFL career or start out their professional life. Imagine going out of college and all of a sudden making that kind of bank. Yeah, that's a nice little deposit on the rest of your life, if you will. So definitely an interesting thing. And yeah, when you see all these other athletes, all these other football players that are retiring young, that are saying, you know what, thanks, but no thanks to a 20-year NFL career or even a 15-year career or maybe even a 10-year career. They know it's 7 years is good. I'll retire at 30. I'll retire at 29. Good on them for it. Go on and live the rest of your life, and best of luck to you. And then the other thing is, Hugh has been on this kick when it comes to mental health with Ben Simmons, and I think I just understood it. Not that I would ever be insensitive to anyone that is dealing with mental health issues, but I think that we term a lot of different things nowadays as mental health. And that's, in a way, that's a great thing, because ultimately, whether or not you're someone who's mentally tough, no matter what, and you just, everything is just rolling with the punches, or you're somebody that deals with a lot of crap, it all falls under the same umbrella, because ultimately it's how you are handling things mentally. That's it. Whether that's you let things roll off your back, or you're the type of person that will obsess over the littlest thing. And the person I'll bring up as an example is Brandon Brooks. Like, I had no idea what that guy was going through until I really saw somebody go through how tough anxiety can be. And I made, some people took this the wrong way. Very few, fortunately, because I think I explained it well. But to explain it again, like, I don't really deal with anxiety. I don't know. I don't say that as a brag. I say that as an admission of ignorance. I can't identify. It's just not something that is going in my head. But I know people that do. And growing up, it was always, if I felt like I was overwhelmed or I felt like if I had a lot going on, and it was almost to the point of like, oh my God, how do I do all this? What do I do now? Not a panic move by any means, but I was always just told, okay, well, just do what you got to do. I didn't hear the word anxiety until I think I was in college, really. It wasn't a thing in my family. What was in my family was agita. Like, oh, you have agita. You just get out of here. You have agita. Like, that was every ailment, which was just funny to me, now knowing what agita actually is. But it was just, when I watched Brandon Graham go through what he was Brandon Bro through what he was going through, it really helped me examine it further. And then you read, when you're about to become a parent, you read about all the things, if you're a guy, what your wife could go through, what your baby mama could go through. And it's like postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. And you read all this stuff and you're like, damn, I don't know how to identify with that. So I practice this one phrase, and this will actually relate a little bit back to, I always take this, it goes back to the chat, as a matter of fact. You just kind of learn this when you're trying to help somebody that's going through something, whatever you need. I like to be that kind of attempt to be that type of calming presence in somebody's life. You try to do that. But how this relates to Ben Simmons, I think that a lot of times what we can do as a city, by caring so much, by having so much passion, like Hugh Douglas just eloquently stated for us right there, I feel like if somebody comes in here and they're not used to that type of environment where people are always 1,000% brutally honest with a player, with a person, like someone like a Ben Simmons, maybe, who has been told for his entire life how great he is. You're going to be so great at this. You're great. You're going to be great. You're going to go to college because you're going to do the family a favor, and then you're going to go to the pros and you're going to be fine. #1 overall pick, rookie of the year, all that stuff. You've been told forever that things are going to be great. And then you come to Philadelphia, and guess what? Things aren't that great. For the first time, you might be encountering somebody that says, yeah, as I always like to say, yeah, those pants make your butt look big. Hey, you got the boogie hanging from your nose. Something like that. That can be daunting. So it might not be the classic case of mental health where it's something that you could label that it is anxiety or it's depression or anything like that. It could just be, oh, damn, a come to Jesus moment where you're realizing that not everybody's going to handle you with kid gloves. And no matter what it is, if it's something you can label, if it's something you could diagnose, if it is or it isn't, it doesn't matter. It's still a matter of how you handle it mentally. And that might be something that is a little daunting with Ben Simmons. And I think that's the point that Hugh Douglas has been trying to get at for these weeks that we've talked to him about Ben Simmons and the state of Ben Simmons here in Philadelphia. Interesting conversation, to say the least, this week with our good friend Hugh Lamont Douglas III. Let me tell you about our friends at Rothman Orthopaedics. Oh, we got a spicy meatball coming up for you, ladies and gentlemen. Really excited to do debut this week's episode, or this week's installment of Farzy in the Field at the Rothman Rink in Center City, Philadelphia. But let me tell you about our friends at Rothman Orthopaedics, because they are fantastic. Remember the old you who didn't have to put up with a fickle knee, a finicky hip, or a shoulder that no longer does what a shoulder should do? Well, the Rothman approach to orthopedics is here to get you back to being you, back to running, walking, working, and playing, back to living your life the way you want. The same-day appointment, by the way, are available. Same-day appointments are available. You can start today at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Rothman Orthopaedics, the official orthopedic partner of your Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. So thank you, Rothman Orthopaedics. How about our friends also at Steak and Maine and SteakandMaine.com? Finding fine dining in the heart of Northeast Maryland can be tough, but you know what's not tough? Steak and Maine. Steak and Maine's easy to find. SteakandMaine.com. Check it out. Whether you dine in a more upscale steakhouse, which they have, or a casual bar, which they have, or a patio, which they have, or the sushi bar, which they have, Steak and Maine has it all. World-class oysters, freshly prepared sushi, prime meats, fresh seafood. They got it all at Steak and Maine. And you could even get a Cavada Cellars wine. I recommend the Pinot Noir with that 2-pound tomahawk steak. Succulent and delicious. Too good. Open every day for lunch, dinner, or Sunday brunch. Steak and Maine in Northeast Maryland voted #1 place for steaks in America by the Travel Channel and the Cooking Channel. Check it out for yourself. Go to SteakandMaine.com for more information. And don't forget, October 10th, my man Tony Cavada at Steak and Maine is going to be down there at Rim Cafe, and he's going to be helping give away 10,000 cannoli, people. 10,000. My man Renee, the Godfather, by the way, at Rim Cafe, gave away a free espresso all day yesterday just to celebrate the Italians winning the Euro. How about that? Great group of people that are helping out this show. Much appreciated. I also got to tell you about FanUp and the FanUp app. Download the FanUp app in the App Store and do what I do. Have some fun. Get in on the daily, fun, and weekly contests that they also have going on there. You can rise on their leaderboard because when you sign up in the App Store for the FanUp app, you just use promo code FANUP and you get 2,000 bonus points to get you started. Issue fun challenges. My man Dan Schwartz here in the comments always hits me up for a great challenge or two. Always a good time. FanUp. I'm doing it with all my friends. You should do it as well. It's fun. It's easy. It's the only place you can also win the hottest brand prizes. You want those Jordans from a couple of weeks ago? You get the Jordans. You want a Peloton bike? Guess what? They gave that away a couple of months ago. They got all sorts of great stuff. Louis Vuitton bag as well. Gift cards, Nike golf gift cards and all that stuff. Good times to be had by all. Any day, any week, any season. You could be the real MVP with FanUp. Download the FanUp app in the App Store. Use promo code FANUP for 2,000 bonus points right out of the gate. That's FanUp. Just be fans. And I do hope that you're following all the great stuff going on in the Philadelphia sports scene right now with PHLSportsNation.com. That's PHLSportsNation.com, a Philadelphia fan site that helps you follow all your major sports teams here in Philadelphia. That's PHLSportsNation.com. All right, let's get into our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Maine at SteakandMaine.com. We're going to start it off with our shout-out to our friend Dan Schwartz. Dan, I'm not putting your business out there, my friend. I'm just going to say this. You got all our good vibes. You got all our well wishes. If you're like me and you pray for Dan. If you just got good vibes to send someone, send to somebody, send good vibes Dan's way. He's got some stuff going on. So, Dan, we're right here with you, buddy. And I really am appreciative for all the people in the chat just for how they interact with the show. That's obviously something I appreciate. But what I really appreciate is how you guys are just awesome with each other on the chat. I never feel like I have to break up a fight on the chat. You guys just keep it 100. That's what you do. You guys are awesome with one another. I love the way you interact, not just with me, but obviously more importantly, with the way you guys interact with everybody. We got people telling birth stories for crying out loud on here. But Dan, all the good vibes you help create in the chat, we want to send right back to you, my friend. Let's see here. Let's see who else is checking in here on today's chat. First off, I believe I was responding a bit, and I think I shrunk my screen, but let's see if I can get involved a little bit more over here. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. All right, let's see. April was the first person checking in. Good morning. Happy Hughes Day. Happy Hughes Day to you as well, April. Brian's checking in and saying, what's up, peeps? Back at you. Julian's here. Julian, here's how amazing Shohei Ohtani is. He is so amazing that he's playing his first full season, because remember he got injured. Playing his first full season, he's being this good. He's making people pay attention to the Anaheim Angels. And I know, Mike Trout. No, I think Mike Trout got a lot of attention early on. And then I feel like people almost got used to Mike Trout. Now it's a whole other thing going on here where people are now recharged once again to watch what's going on the West Coast. Cody's checking in saying good morning. Julian liked the how exciting the home run derby was. Imagine steroids and Coors Field. That's a shout out to Mark McGuire that I referenced earlier, Julian. Absolutely. That was a wild time. Don Vito checking, Dante and Luigi. Is that a reference? It's got to be a reference to the restaurant in South Philly. Conspiracy theory. I like it. What are we conspiracy theories? This is all interesting. Possibly see some of these guys in 2054. It's possible. Oh, that's as far as I see what you're doing there. As far as the prospects in Major League Baseball at the Phillies drafted, 2054. It always seems like you got to wait forever when they draft day. Whenever I see a high school kid drafted, if it's not hockey, for instance, I'm like, all right, let's see you maybe in 5 years. Baseball draft prospects, as Jerry is pointing out, long term. You ain't kidding. Here's our shout out to Dan for all the stuff he's got going on. We're with you. April chimed in. Mac chimed in. Don Vito chimed. Vince. Rick, everybody, Jerry, you guys are just so awesome. Yes, Luigi. So you catch the pod yesterday. Appreciate you doing that. The script is out. Hoping to get it back later today for airing tomorrow. If not, we'll definitely have it by Thursday, but I'm pretty sure we'll have it by tomorrow of our first ever 5-bay forecast. So you're welcome. But Luigi, in case you can't wait that long, don't miss Farzy in the field coming up in a second. All right? Don't miss Farzy in the field. All right. I know how thirsty you are, Luigi. What else do we have here? Hugh mentioned the birth process about just just show them the baby. They just want to see the baby. April chimed in. That's a big kid you had, April. God bless you. God bless you. Mally, what's up, brother? Mally's back. Rick says Farzy doesn't show his weed smoking side. I don't have a weed smoking side. I have a bourbon drinking side and a red wine drinking side, as you guys saw in full display yesterday. What else do we have here? Sean's checking in. What's popping, Sean? Let's see here. All our support for Dan. This is awesome. You guys are just fantastic. Everybody reaching out to Dan, just telling him what's up. Brian's got fist bumps, good vibes, and all that. Truly, truly amazing. That was our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Maine at steakandmaine.com. You know, those are just some people we're hearing from. Let's hear from more people here in this week's edition. This is Farzy in the field at the Rothman Roller Rink in Center City, Philadelphia. It's now closed, but guess what? They're going to be opening it up once again for ice skating this winter, so you can look forward to that at Dilworth Plaza. I can't wait for that. Maybe I'll get on some ice skates as well. Maybe I'll get my Nasty Knuckles friends out there as well, skating around. Maybe give me a skating lesson or two. But so here's what happened. Last week, I was out shooting, 2 weeks ago, I was out there shooting a Farzy in the field, and I was in Center City. I was at the little thing there, the Dilworth Plaza at City Hall, and I saw the Rothman Roller Rink. And I said, you know what? What better thing to do than actually roller skate around and do a Farzy in the field that way? I've never done, in all the years of doing Farzy in the field, which is, I think, is coming up on 5 years, both for the radio, for this, for the stuff I would do for NBC, all the stuff. I never did it on wheels. I've never been on wheels while doing a Farzy in the field. So, without further ado, I went down to the Rothman rink, and I skated around, and I asked people this question: who will be the next team in Philadelphia to win a championship? I kept it general because I know I wasn't going to be interviewing the most hardcore sports fans. But here you go. Without further ado, Farzy in the field at the Rothman Roller Rink in Center City, Philadelphia, brought to you by our good friends at FanUp. Take a look.
I just found my first friend here. He's got the Rocky shirt on, so obviously a sports fan, as we're just two guys casually rollerblading, or roller skating rather, here at the Rothman rink. Let me ask you this. What team in Philadelphia do you think will win the next championship?
The Philadelphia Phoenix, Ultimate Frisbee team.
Who will be the next team in Philadelphia to win a championship?
All right, first of all, who's playing?
Who's playing?
Yeah, who's playing?
All right, you guys are big Philadelphia sports fans. We were just talking. Who will be the next team to win a championship in Philadelphia?
Well, who do you think is going to win?
I would say probably the Sixers are the closest right now as I fall.
I would agree it's the closest, but not by much. So.
Not by much. Okay. All right. Sharon, who do you got?
76ers.
You got the Sixers as well?
Rooting for the Sixers, but don't know if it's going to happen.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. New friends. New friends.
I want the Flyers to win the next championship, and I hope, you know what, I'm going to say the Flyers. The Flyers.
Who's skating backwards? Who's skating backwards? This guy. Oh, man.
Okay, so who's the championship for?
It's going to be a while, I think, here. So I think most people say the Sixers are the closest. The Eagles probably a while away.
Okay, but who's playing though? Who's in the championship?
Right now, the Bucks and the Suns.
Stop messing with me.
I'm not messing with you. That's literally who's playing in the championship. Like right now, the time we tape this, they're playing tonight.
Okay, so who do I think is going to win out of who?
Yeah, sure. Out of the Suns and the Bucks.
Out of the Suns?
Let me ask you this. Who's on first? Let me ask you this. Who's on first?
I don't know.
No. He's our third baseman. Sorry, I think it's actually shortstop. Look at me. Look how lucky I am. I found the bride Who do you think will be the next team to win a championship in Philadelphia, Bride?
Philadelphia Eagles.
I wish you nothing but happiness. I wish you nothing but happiness.
Thank you.
Where's the rest of your people?
Oh, they're all over the place. You can find them with a pin on.
Where we go? Pin? You got a pin? Oh, we got a pin. Oh, perfect. All right. Hello. Hiya. Congratulations on being in the bridal party. Let me ask you this right now. You are in the bridal party, right? You're not just here for the party?
No.
All right, cool. All right. Who will be the next team in Philadelphia to win a championship?
Ooh, I'm going to say we're going to go with the Flyers.
Okay. All right. There we go. The Flyers. Perfect. Thank you. Who else is in this party? Who will be the next champion in Philadelphia?
The Philadelphia Eagles!
Oh, don't. Oh, whole other slew of comments from all you wonderful people. That was a good time. I had a lot of fun with that. Hopefully it came across how much fun that was to do. Once again, thank you to our friends at Rothman Orthopaedics who allowed me access and a camera there to the Rothman Roller Rink in Dover Plaza. Reopens, by the way, in November, so don't miss out. And for that fall at the end there, if there's any long-lasting problems for me, you know where I'll be going? Rothman Orthopaedics. So there you go. Thanks to everyone that took the time to have a conversation with me. Yeah, not the biggest sports fans in the world. Some were, most not. I didn't know how else to explain to that gentleman that's there was no Philadelphia team in a championship right now. Although maybe that Philadelphia Frisbee team, Ultimate Frisbee team's in a championship, but I don't know. Anyway, thanks again to Rothman Orthopaedics and obviously our good friends at FanUp who bring us Farzy in the field each and every week. Special shout out to my friend Alex over there at Rothman for setting that up for me. Good times. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to do our morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars and SkyMotorcars.com. Bucks and Suns do play tonight. Game 4, 9 o'clock of the NBA Finals. Giannis Antetokounmpo going for his third straight 40.10 rebound game. Pretty incredible for him. Good times right there. DK Metcalf finally gave us evidence that maybe Howie Roseman was right. Here's my theory. Maybe Howie Roseman, when he was scouting DK Metcalf, did not watch his football tape. Maybe he only watched his softball tape. Because here's what I've learned. DK Metcalf sucks at softball. Took part in the celebrity softball game in Denver yesterday. They rolled the tape of it last night. I believe it was after the home run derby. And oh my God, he is terrible. DK Metcalf owes everybody on his celebrity all-star team a case of beer for striking out not once, but twice. So make it 2 cases of beer for DK Metcalf to the rest of the team for striking out twice in the celebrity all-star game. Then he also had an error at third base. Come on, man. It's weak sauce. By the way, special shout out to our man, Brandon McManus of Temple University, kicker for the Denver Broncos, who was catching yesterday during the celebrity game. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Much appreciated. Thanks for listening as well. Shout out to our man, Dan Schwartz, one more time. More good vibes your way. Oh, Dan's telling me to take my kids to, because I grew up in Doylestown, take my kid to Kids Castle. It is awesome. No, Kids Castle is amazing. I have run through Kids Castle. I think the OG Kids Castle, which I don't think exists anymore. I think they built a new Kids Castle, which is like a whole new kingdom. Like I grew up with like a Camelot little brother type of thing. This is actually Camelot. I believe what they rebuilt. So yeah, that is that's definitely a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Marc Farzetta. This is in the Steven Singer studio. And yeah, parents would definitely notice me running around Kids Castle. I'm talking about when I was growing up in Doylestown. Anyway, this is a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. Jim Hyden produced the show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you click subscribe on our YouTube page. And make sure you join in on the chat as well, people. We like to have a good time here. One more time, shout out to you, Dan. Much appreciated. Everyone, have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.